YouTube, what the crap's going on? HeirofCarthage here, and we are back in the Shogun campaign. Emphasis on the gun as per usual. And when we last left off, we had our own invasion force. You know, we're tired of letting the enemy have all the fun with invasions. And it's heading to Shikoku. And once in Shikoku, hopefully we can cause some pretty serious problems for our enemies. Our main armies are ready to push into Oda Territory. In fact, we've begun just that. I'm ready to assail the Oda Fortress here, though it does look like they showed up with another army, conveniently, out of the mist. They've always got another army. And then we are basically waiting to move on into the territory that the Date tried to take off of us over here. So we're about to have some pretty serious pushback, and then on top of all that, I'm trading yet another army of the same composition that I've been using, and then I have another Nanban ship on the way. All of that will help be funded by the new trade route that we have opened up. And I'm going to escort these trade ships out there with another Nanban ship. So yeah, we've got a lot going on, folks. We've got a lot going on, and we have one more trade route that we're going to take, which will be this one here. So we will have all of the trade routes on this end of the map under our control. There is yet another trade route up here that we should probably also gain control of, and I will work on that eventually. So we can use that to continue our funding being at high levels. Comes the end of turn agent spam. Looks like we've already lost one of those. So this is our typical end of turn experience. As of current, while the Oda ran away rather than defending their settlement, so shows you the confidence level that they've built up. And then here, now that's some typical AI garbage right there. An army that shouldn't still be alive, but is alive, is able to raid a couple of my buildings and cause me great financial harm, despite the fact that their army has been rendered and... despite the fact their army has been literally neutered by my force. Like, they've literally had their junk shot off. But, you know, hey, whatever. Tried and imprisoned. Now, that actually sucks that it's tried and imprisoned rather than executed, because now I've got to wait for him to walk all the way back from my capital. So that is a bit frustrating, indeed. Let's see here. Recruitment, army. So these jerks are damaging. Now, fortunately, the damage they've done to my buildings is relatively low, but it can cost you income depending on what it is they damage. I mean, if you're thinking realistically, you know, it's not like that a couple hundred, you know, troops without a leader are going to operate behind enemy lines where they're likely to be fought off by local patrols or militias or whatever else it is to you. I mean, so this whole scenario is garbage in my mind. Like, I think your army should have to be of a significant size, and the same with a navy. Whenever they're performing a blockade, it should have to be a certain size, or else the action just isn't even available. And it would help fix some of the nonsense that goes on with these features that I think are good features to have in the game. In terms of how you... sorry, I got the typical allergy crap going on. They're good features to have in the game, like raiding, you know, a settlement within a province, blockading a port. Good features. Poorly implemented, I think is the way that I would say it. You know, I kind of want to fight this one rather than auto-resolve, because I think I can get a ton of kills with my Tersos, so let's see it. Anyway, I'll jump into this one on the battle map. Alright, as the battle begins, I'm going to try something. I'm going to try and burn their archery tower down with my own bow samurai who are moving forward in loose formation. And then one of the problems I'm going to have is that AI bow samurai with chevrons are going to effectively be Yumi machine guns. Just watch them fire here. So I'm going to take a lot of damage, but I just want to see how my matchlocks do. Will they fire? Will they get much damage done? Again, using my own bow samurai as bait. Unfortunately for me, the enemy bow samurai do so much damage that I'm already losing a unit of bow samurai, like, almost right away. So this is pretty obscene. You can see just how quickly their arrows are flying out of there. To be fair, though, I guess it is bow samurai, and they are fairly skilled. And then I have a weak unit of Tersos that immediately becomes the target of affection for this bow samurai. The AI going for the weakest target there. And the rest of my Tersos are going to get into range and begin the process of shooting, and they'll be able to mow down this bow samurai, even though it's up in the garrison. It'll take massive losses. My guys are very accurate, and they're in range, and these guys have their heads exposed, so we will kill that one, but unfortunately, I probably won't be able to take them both down. And this one over here, look at just the constant stream of arrows coming out of that thing, what I said about the Yumi machine guns. So I'm just trying to explore the limits of what these Tersos can do in this siege type of situation, and I think that this is about it. You know, obviously they'll start to take so much damage that they really cannot be effective enough, but we did manage to get rid of one bow samurai, and just kind of a head-on engagement. The rest of my Tersos are just going to have to run back. They won't have enough men, and then like their angle's all screwed up, so I'd have to reposition them again, and you know how much damage they would take in that process, so I'm going to pull them all back. And I'm going to start bringing up my melee units. I'm going to position myself kind of on... Yeah, there's a bunch of weird visual glitches happening in this battle. You all see throughout this episode that this has been kind of a glitchy episode, and one that got me a little bit salty. No, it hasn't ruined my enthusiasm for Shogun 2, but it is somewhat suppressing of it, unfortunately, as CA apparently had some stuff that they needed to fix and never did, and it's a little frustrating. I'm going to burn the gatehouses down with my Nagi-Sam. I'm going to run the Nagi-Sam through the burned gatehouses, because I'm hoping the cavalry will charge my Nagi-Sam, and if they do, they will get absolutely cut to pieces. I actually find Nagi-Sam to almost be superior to Katana Samurai in campaign. They're much better in melee than a Yari Samurai, and once you get them the armor upgrades and a few like attack upgrades, you kind of get the best of both worlds between a Yari Sam and a Katana Samurai. They're not as fast as a Yari Samurai. They don't attack quite as good as a Katana Samurai, but they still defeat cavalry, much like a Yari Samurai, and they are pretty effective in almost any melee, kind of like a Katana, except you don't have to worry about Katana cavalry. So I don't know, I think and then Nagi have better armor as well, which is effective both against range and in melee, so I kind of feel like Nagi Samurai are probably the supreme melee unit in campaign. Not the case in multiplayer, where they can of course be bested in a number of scenarios, but I think in campaign, they end up being extremely good, and you all probably see that in the stats from this battle. So anyway, that's why I run the Nagi Samurai straight to the gates. I want them to be first into action. They have the best mix of attack, defense, and armor, and they will do very well. They will do very well indeed. So you can see the enemy really plowing, and see the cavalry too, also slamming in here, a Katana cavalry. So had I sent up a Katana Samurai, they'd be getting absolutely bushwhacked by that cavalry, but not my Nagi-Sam. They are holding strong, and they will continue to hold strong, even in the face of cavalry attacks. They don't have as much bonus versus large as a Yari Samurai, but they have quite a bit. And then, once my Nagi Samurai have the enemy fixed, I started running my Katana Samurai up over the wall, and allowing them to get into melee with the enemy troops. And so my Katana Samurai will be better in melee, but obviously they'll be weaker to the enemy cavalry, which is the downside. But with the Nagi-Sam holding, the Katana Samurai are able to get up and start taking the flanks, and they will start to rack up a significant number of kills in a big hurry. You can see this unit here. Under missile attack, is he tired and courage general nearby? Yeah, they're getting a lot of kills. They're racking it up. But look at this Nagi-Sam here, already 83 and climbing. Go look at the other one. This one's got 72. So both of the Nagi Samurai are holding their own quite well. I think in future campaigns I may just go straight Naginata Samurai, unless there's some campaign that I'm playing where there's, man, the smoke and fire effects look really good on this game. I mean, it kills your frame rate. I'm sitting on like modern extreme hardware, and my frame rate is just complete in the tank, but man, does it look good. It really looks good. In some ways looks better than some of the newer Total War games. Not entirely, but I mean, it really looks good. This game has plenty of issues, and like I said, you'll see those coming out throughout this episode. It has issues, but at the same time, like, I don't know, it's going to be hard for almost any Total War game to stand up this well 10 years after its release. Which makes it kind of all the more sad that CA wasn't able to get in and fix up the last few things with patches and stuff and really leave this as a lasting legacy masterpiece. I still have some Nagi-Sam stuck in the gatehouse for some reason. You can hear the announcer declaring victory. Look at these guys. They're just trying to look cool back here. They're like, hey, Heir, get a picture of us. All right, I'll get a picture of you, bros. Like fist pumping. in the middle of the fire. So there we go. I got their picture. I'll put that one up for fun. So, in any case, yeah, see that my forces are overwhelming the enemy. There's really not much left to see here. I did take my Yari Ashigaru around the other side of the fort. I wasn't in a big hurry with this because I knew that I would win regardless. And I'm going to capture the gates and go ahead and let my Yari Ash in on the other side, so you'll see that taking place here. Once some of your troops have moved over the walls, you actually can start giving them movement orders inside the fort, even though the rest are still trickling in. You can use that to your advantage here. I'm going to capture the gatehouse, and then I'll go capture this archery tower. See, now we have the gatehouse, and I can go ahead and give a movement order to my Yari Ashigaru to start moving in. Yeah, that's not much left here. AI is pretty much shut out. I did have one Katana Samurai that ends up routing. It's this one right here. It did well. It got 210 kills. It just, you know, ran out of steam in a very long fight against a whole lot of Yari Samurai. And Yari Samurai have very nice defense, and they can last a long time in a fight. See here, we're going to take the archery tower, and then my units coming through the gates. As these units spill through the gates, I'm going to move up here into the victory point. And then I'm going to take these units now that they've captured the archery tower, and I'll go ahead and start moving up to come flank the few remaining Date who are left fighting. Look at this dude. The lone survivor. The last samurai. Comes over and kills one of my men. But then he is stabbed for his trouble. Let's take out these last couple of guys fighting their way through this. Shogun 2 had some pretty cool matched animations. I think that guy took an arrow. Ooh, and this guy gets yaried. I think a little bit of friendly fire from the arrow towers, but that's it. We control the keep. Alright, well, not as good as I wanted to do in the ranged fight, but we can always count on our Naginata Samurai, who are apparently, like, otherworldly monsters with a blade, and just always seem to get the most kills. 267 kills, 68 lost, and that's while fighting into an enemy defensive position, so you can imagine how effective those guys are. Just a standard fight. So, we did quite well here. What do we got here? Siege Engineer's Workshop. That seems rather useless. Let's go ahead and start building our typical sake den stuff to help out with funding. Got forces here. This army is got a clear shot to Harima, and there's nothing here to dissuade it. I'm going to do a quick save just to make sure we don't get screwed over on an auto-resolve. Everything went swimmingly. So we are going to take Harima. It was a long time in the making. Take that off of them too. What do we got? Approving grounds. Proves replenishment. Replenishment actually not bad to have here because we have some recruiting behind us here in Bizen. This leaves us very, very close to Kyoto. Just a few castles to take care of, and we can probably be in Kyoto pretty quickly. I think I'm gonna keep this army just kind of hidden. For whatever reason, this guy doesn't know how to ambush, or maybe his army... Oh, there he goes. Alright, so he dropped into an ambush stance. What we got going on back here? Hatakeyama are kind of in my business here. I'm going to ignore these ships for the moment. They may cause a little damage to my economy over the short run, but I'm going to ignore them for the moment and carry these Japanese trade ships out here to this trade node and drop them off. There we go. Now we have quite a lot more income coming off of that, and I can bring this ship back, basically block this entry point, and use it as an escort or whatever else we need to. We'll have to kill off these ships interior to here. Another turn or two. I'm going to go... Let's see, I could just run my invasion here against this faction, but they likely have a whole bunch of forces sitting at home. because they're at peace with us at the moment. And so rather than having to fight all those forces right off the bat, I think I'm going to drop off my invasion force. I mean, I don't want to declare war on them, so I'll just drop off my invasion force here, and we'll do it on the next turn. So we can drop off our invasion force. Let's go see what else it is we can do this turn. Do we need to recruit any new agents? And I think the answer is no. Okay, nope. We do not. That's probably a first. Trying to remember the rock, paper, scissor here. I know the Metsuke is good against the ninja. And I want to say that the priest is good against the Metsuke. And then the ninja is good against the priest. If I remember these things right. But I don't really have that benefit. There's just a ton of enemy Metsuke sitting around, so I'm just going to have to do whatever I can do. Oh, well, that's a good start. I will take it. So we perplexed one of their agents there. Decent Metsuke here. A rather low tier missionary. Oh, wow. We fixed him too. Now let's see if we can get lucky and knock out this last one. I want all these enemy agents out of the way. They just cause problems and make a mess of things. Oh my gosh, I am on a tear this turn. Wow, I mean, surely this ninja will end up getting executed in this attempt or something. I can't have it go this good, can I? I mean, I am just ecstatic about our results on this turn. Wow. Swept the board. That does not happen often. That is fantastic. What a great set of results there. That is really good. Oh boy. Yeah, I'll take that straight to the bank. I wonder if my fleet is still stuck. Yeah, it is. We still can't do anything with this fleet. However, it will serve as reinforcements, so I'm going to leave it for the time being because it'll reinforce this fleet that's blocking all these guys from getting in here. At least it did last time, so I don't know. We should be okay still for the time being. I think it's probably a chance for us to end another turn here. So let's go ahead and do that. Got these agents moving up to the front. So we're actually kind of winning the agent battle, at least for the moment. Don't want to jinx myself, which I probably just did. Holy crap, the Oda showed up in force. And that's not good. They sieged me. Well, I say it's not good. I actually have a pretty solid defense force there, but we'll move up some reinforcements. And see, I don't know if the AI can see this fleet that's here. Because they attacked me. Or maybe they can, and they just think that they'll do well. I don't know. I've got to fight this one. It won't be much to see, though. Alright, after a lot of fast-forwarding and nonsense, the fleet that doesn't exist, but does exist, was easily able to defeat the enemy here. Drive them back. And looks like that the Oda are going to force the attack. And my troops are quite healthy, albeit it's not a very strong fort to defend from. I mean, we do have a solid fort to defend from. I would imagine that my Portuguese terços will be doing some major damage from the walls, but we'll be getting onto that. Alright, the defense of my new castle is underway, and here's the thought process. There's quite a few Oda troops approaching, and I'm going to garrison these walls with a whole bunch of terços in the upper tiers, so that as the enemy comes over these walls, they'll just be shot to ribbons, or at least that's the hope. And then I'm going to take some cavalry. I have a Katana Cav, a Yari Cav, and 2 Donderbus cavalry. I'm going to take them out the gates and go actively do some harassing and try and get some enemy forces to follow me. Maybe even kill the enemy bows that are over here if we're really lucky. So I'll let you all see what happens. I'm going to actually fast forward for just a second while the AI moves into position. And we're going to start to see... Heir's going to get pretty salty here. Look at this. I have matchlocks. I mean, maybe they can't shoot at this unit because the walls are in the way. Okay, no big deal, right? Air, that's just the walls in the way. Alright, let's just keep watching. Keep watching. I'm going to get a little salty on this episode. And it's because there's some real issues with matchlocks in Total War Shogun 2 that never really got corrected. It's going to be really frustrating. My Katana Cavalry here ends up getting charged. I'm going to reinforce with the Yari Cav. And then I'm going to use my Donderbus Cavalry to try and mow down these firebomb throwers. And then there's a Kisho Ninja over here. Look, I think they got one bomb off. One bomb. And the Kisho Ninja might attempt some bombs too, but not before they get shotgunned in the face. You can see them getting their little things out, trying to throw their few bombs. They got a couple, but not before they took heavy fire in return. So my Donderbus Cavalry already being quite useful. Mopped up a couple of units in a pretty quick hurry there. Took a little more damage than I wanted the Katana Cavalry, and so I was like, alright, I'll go deal with the enemy bows. My matchlocks have, I mean, perfectly clear line of sight. I want you to see this. Perfectly clear line of sight. Only one dude fired. Only one dude. I mean, I'm even on the, look, I'm on a rapid reload. Look at this. Here's a couple of shots emanating out of this one. Like 10 shots maybe. Got a few kills. My units just won't fire. Like, there's a Katana Samurai here that's just ripe for the destruction, and they won't fire. Look, more units right here. No one firing. Like, what is this? Why does it do this? Like, the only way that I can effectively use Tersos at this point is to double-click an attack order on an open battlefield. Like, I cannot hardly get them to fire from a standstill. I don't know what causes it. I'm thinking maybe it's like a center of mass issue with the unit, like especially where they're climbing the walls or something here. But like right there, I mean, there should have been 100+ kills on the enemy, and there was nothing. Instead, the AI is going to keep chasing me. And then I get more glitches out here where my, like, see how their units get spread out? Again, I think it might have to do with center of mass. My Donderbus Cavalry just won't shoot at these guys. Just won't shoot. So I've got Donderbus Cavalry that won't shoot. I've got Tersos that won't shoot. Good stuff. Anyway, I'm going to fast forward because all this is rather pointless. At this point, I was getting pretty dang salty, and for good reason. Because the AI is basically just getting freebies here, where I should be getting 500, 600, 700 kills easy with my Tersos being able to fire from these walls unobstructed, but they won't fire, so I'm going to go ahead and try a new strategy. So I'm going to bring my Tersos over, and I'm going to set up a kill box in this quarter. So rather than manning the walls, where they've already proven they won't fire, can I set up a kill box and shoot the guys as they climb the walls, and then I'll just back them up. You can see over here, look at this. Donderbus Cavalry wouldn't shoot, just took a charge from an Ashigara. This isn't a Yari Salmon like the charge thing. Just sat there and took a charge, wouldn't shoot. Both of them were fully reloaded. It's another example. Unit just walked right through their line of fire, and unit wouldn't shoot. I don't know what the deal is. It's very, very strange. Like, the center of mass thing might explain what happened with the Tersos, if that's a thing. It doesn't explain why the Donderbus Cavalry just would not shoot in this battle. Like, they shot the first time and really wouldn't do much afterwards. So let's watch my Tersos, see how they react. Again, we have targets to shoot. There are multiple targets. These guys are only just now acting like they're willing to shoot, and then they finally do, but not all of them. Like, some of the guys didn't shoot, some did. See that? This unit picked up, like, totally had another shot, but wouldn't take it. So, again, very odd behavior. Like, the fire at will behavior is very strange. I do have these guys in fire by rank. Some of it could be the fire by rank behavior. I may see what happens if I take them out of fire at rank, but I still think they try and fire as a solid front line, though I could be wrong, and I'll test that. I don't know. But I'm having all kinds of matchlock issues, so I decided to take this unit and face the flanks and see if I can get some additional salvos in here and try and finally maybe get some kills on my Tersos, who should have already had, like, dominant kills in this process. See here, these guys were doing the Tosa shuffle. It's another reason why it takes units forever to fire. We did finally get a shot with the front line. Half the second line fired and half did not. So see, this unit's in some kind of weird glitch right now where it won't shoot. 3 or 4 guys only from this side fired. Like, so it's just weird stuff going on with these units, and I don't know why, and really wish CA would have patched it. We got hit by whistling shot from some unit out here. Do they have... Maybe it's a bow cavalry. They have a bow cavalry, but it's way back here. What the heck did they have that had whistling shot? Boashi, Boashi, Bo-Sam, Bo-Sam. I mean, can you get whistling shot on Bo-Samurai? I don't know. I saw a whistling shot thing, but I don't really know where it came from. In any case, yeah, you can see the enemy still charging forward. I'll get occasional matchlock shots here and there from my Tersos, but for the most part, they're just in melee because they don't shoot. So fortunately for me, Tersos are decent in melee, and then also my melee troops are extremely good at melee, so regardless of whether my matchlocks were shooting, I should end up in pretty good shape. I've been chased like all the way around the map by these melee units, and I can't get my guys to shoot, so at this point I'm not even trying anymore. Like I'm not even attempting to get my cavalry to fire.
One of our units has used all its ammunition.
And that is my bow samurai that used all its ammunition. Definitely not my Tersos, because they don't want to shoot, period. But like I said, I'm getting a few shots here and there now, a few shots. You can see this unit has 81 kills. This unit gets in with a katana samurai, which is not what I want. I'm going to have to send some help into him. Got a Nagi Sam over here helping some of my Tersos. And then we're going to get kind of an assassination attempt. The AI who was chasing me gets tired of chasing me finally and decides to climb these walls, and I'm not paying attention, and then they try and come up here and assassinate my general. I'll let you see that as it happens. But for the most part, we are defeating the enemy's melee troops over here. It's become kind of a killing floor. The occasional matchlock shots mixed in with some melee. See, a few of my Tersos finally got a somewhat respectable number of kills. They should have had, 2 or 3 times this many kills if they would have fired properly from the walls, because they would be absolutely devastating. Fast forward some more, just kind of let you all see what happens here. So the AI going to send forward its general and the bow cavalry and some other units. Here's where the AI decides to climb this wall in behind me here with the Yari Samurai. It's definitely not a unit that I want fighting my general. See, the bow cavalry is going to fire dismounted, which makes sense. AI using its range here. They're going to start shooting at my katana samurai, it looks like. Let's watch if their general gets executed by my Tersos. They climb to the wall. See, look, targets available, targets in range. This unit they're not even shouldering their arms here. Enemy is literally right in their face. They finally shouldered their arms. These units over here haven't even shouldered their arms either. Enemies in range, I believe. Sure looks like it. But yeah, they won't even shoulder their arms. This unit's now reloading. Enemy down, but the Yari Samurai came over the wall. I was trying to put my general into stand and fight when this happened, and so it kind of created like a mess, and you can't control your general for a certain amount of time after clicking stand and fight. And I was really fortunate here. My general dismounted and then got away from the fight. So this is him. He's going to stay safe, but I very nearly lost my daimyo here in this terrible mistake, but I did manage to shatter the AI there. They've only got a few units left, and they're chasing my pacifist Donderbus cavalry that refuses to fire. So see here again, the Donderbus cavalry refusing to fire. Didn't even shoulder an arm until they got charged. And so I'm having to continue to mess with that. Look, yeah, like 3 guys shot. So again, inexplicable matchlock behavior. It's sometimes worse with Donderbus because their range is very short. There was a few enemy bow units that were left, but the AI is about to chain route in its entirety. So I'm just kind of running away still. These units, the enemy bow cavalry is annoying me. I'm just shooting over the wall. So here in a moment, I'm gonna take some steps here to go kill these last few enemy units and try and cause a chain route. Look at this, I clicked an attack order here. Donderbus cavalry still wouldn't shoot. See that? They turned around and just started walking into their enemies without shooting. I'm still messing with the Donderbus cav and still can't get it to shoot. I just have to run away, because if you don't run away way ahead of the enemy unit getting there, a bunch of your men will just stand still and let the enemy charge them. Look here. Here's another clicked attack order. Watch. Wouldn't fire. And then they just stand there after I give them the move order and die. Yeah, so this battle was an absolute mess. It is a crapshoot of Shogun 2 glitches that never got patched by Creative Assembly. It's really quite frustrating. Look, at the very end of the battle, some of my Tersos managed to fire from the walls for like the very first time. Well, between a few of my mistakes in clicking orders on time, which I definitely had some of, and the odd matchlocks won't fire, I mean, this siege should have been hundreds and hundreds of kills for my Portuguese terços, and we didn't get hardly any. I mean, like, I say that. A couple of my units did well there at the very end, but when they were sitting on the walls, they should have racked up an additional 200 or 300 kills on those walls initially, so it's definitely something that should have been addressed in this game a long time ago and was not, and it's kind of frustrating. I mean, I don't want to get into it, get too salty for too long on here, but I love this game. It is really good, and out of all Total War games, after 10 years, it may be, at the moment, I would say it's probably one of the best Total War games that just standing on its own after 10 years. I think it's really, really good. But it doesn't mean that it doesn't have issues. I'm going to fight this so I don't take any auto-resolve damage. I'll probably still take damage from, again, another issue that should have been patched out. You'll win a battle and take no damage, and then it just damages you after the battle. So again, little things like this add up, and they suck. But at the same time, like, I'm not going to let those things ruin Shogun 2 for me, even though they are annoying. Wow, we didn't take any after-battle losses here unnecessarily. Thank you, CA. Like, thank you. I don't know why it happens other times. Good grief. Well, the enemy definitely wants to get through me here. I'm not going to let it happen again. I'm just going to fight this one manually so we don't take any losses from the auto-resolve. For example, during the battle, I had one crewman, who died from an arrow that went over the top of the railing. It was 1. And instead, after the battle, they've killed 7. So I guess 1 equals 7. CA, please get your crap together. Alright. Clan joins the enemy. I knew the Kono were going to join our enemies. That was pretty obvious. Invasion force lands, and that invasion force is... Let's see, where did they land? Okay, they landed outside of Bizen. They couldn't see my army waiting. And it's not a very good army. It's, you know, kind of the typical stuff that we've come to expect from AI. My forces won the battle and are replenishing rather nicely at Harima because of the building that was there, so this is good news. I'm going to have a missionary come in here and minister to the settlement. And speaking of, I need to come in here and see what all agents, if any... It says we don't need to re-recruit any more agents. I find that hard to believe. But... maybe. I want to sabotage this army, if at all possible. Hey, I had really good luck last turn, so I guess that my luck is done, so I don't know, we'll see. There we go, good stuff. Demoralize would be good as well, so I'll take a shot at it with my agents here. Let's see, we've got... converting provinces is probably our main focus. And then unrest should be important as well, which I have to do this in order to get to the unrest. So let's actually do this, and then we'll add some of these other ones. So there we go. Let's see if we can demoralize the enemy army. We failed with that attempt. Oh wow, we did it on the much lower chance. Good news. And then I've got my beast agent here. Do I dare move him forward? I'm going to. I might need to take a missionary across into Shikoku. Let's go drop our army off. Here, so there. Alright, so their invasion force landed, my invasion force landed, and my invasion force is better than yours. So what do you think of that? I did a quick save. I'm just curious what the auto-resolve will do for us here, because it's kind of an annoying battle to fight. Yeah, the auto-resolve was quite fair to us. Maybe even more than fair, so we'll occupy. I don't know why it's like sometimes it looks really bad and it's okay, and then other times it looks good and then it's really bad. Like, I don't know. Can't ever really make sense of it. There's some decent recruiting available here, including some katana samurai. And there's a proving grounds, which improves replenishment. So this is actually This is an okay setup in some ways. I think I'm going to get rid of this merchant guild and maybe build like a church. Yeah, I'm going to get rid of the merchant guild and build a church to help start converting this province, because it's going to be very upset at being taken over by Christians. But at least we have a foothold on Shikoku now. And that should definitely get the attention of our enemies. Let's see. Harakayama landed and they're demoralized heavily, and they have been sabotaged, which this is a great time for us to move in and kill them. We even get the reinforcements from our castle, which I doubt we need, but we shall take. So let's go ahead and fight this one, and of course I will show it to you. Alright folks, so for this battle, the AI hill camped to the back. I just told my garrison to withdraw because I didn't need them. I'm going to do a full gun line charge here because this army is very dependent on its gun lines. I do have 4 OTOMO matchlock Ashigaru on top of my Portuguese terços. So I do the double click order. This does usually result in me getting full volleys with my matchlocks, except for the return suicide charge that usually follows. But I did mostly get really solid volleys with all of my matchlock units and open the battle with a considerable number of casualties inflicted. So the enemy's going to take, a couple of hundred casualties at a minimum right off the bat, and a lot of those to their bow units, which is what I was targeting. As their melee follows up, I'm going to have waiting Yari walls, which will give me a rather good defensive position to fight from, though we are still outclassed here. Remember, the enemy army is demoralized from my my missionary, and we also sabotage their army, so there shouldn't be any getaway, but I wouldn't put it past the enemy being able to get away alive. But it is what it is. Like right here, we're overmatched on this flank. I've got 2 Yari Ashigaru trying to hold out against multiple Katana Samurai, so that is a bad situation for me. I am trying to move some matchlocks to the flanks, and I was doing so over here as well, but then I realized that these Katana Samurai are going to break through me before I ever make it to the flank, so I actually am going to do some repositioning right here. You can see I'm setting up a kill box with these 3 matchlock units, and then my bow Ashigaru are focusing the Katana Samurai over here. In the center we're doing fine, because that's where my own Katana Samurai were backing up my Yariash, and in that case we're doing just fine, because I've got a little more meat to my melee force. There's a Katana Cavalry working my flank. I did give double-click attack orders here, and not all my guys were reloaded, so of course, typical fashion, they're not going to shoot, allowing the Katana Samurai to just mosey straight past them and into the back of some of my other units, which is really infuriating, but this is the story of Shogun 2 these days. My kill box is able to get some more kills on these Katana Samurai, and it's enough to leave them highly demoralized. You can see that a few of my units will end up in melee, but this one can stay behind them and keep shooting them. The enemy Katana Samurai finally starts copping a bunch of hot lead and drops, and then that leaves only 1 more Katana Cavalry, which goes after another one of my skirmish units out here, but it's also going to be shot down by my matchlock units as soon as they decide that it is appropriate, okay, and that they've received all the paperwork allowing them to fire. And so there they go, starting to shoot. And so we do defeat the Harakayama army pretty decisively here, despite it being a tough melee. This army definitely needs some melee improvements, but we're kind of making up for it with just the sheer numbers and the guns. Well, an excellent victory for us. We did lose 1 Yari Ashigaru, but I can't say that that's a huge issue for me. It's something we'll be able to do. And what was also strange is that I told my troops, and you all saw this in the battle, I told them to withdraw, and then they actually ran further out onto the battlefield and started getting themselves killed, like handing the enemy free kills. I wasn't real pleased with that, if I'm being transparent. Yeah, pretty really irritated, in fact, about it, but I guess there's not much I could do about it. Fortunately for me, though, it looks like those kills didn't register for whatever reason. I don't know. So, sure, it's fine. I guess. We all make mistakes. CA, please stop making mistakes. So our army here is in excellent shape. It's replenishing quickly. I'm going to let it do that replenishing. How are we doing over here? So in Inaba, we have retaken it. We do have some casualties we're still healing off before we probably want to hit Tajima. And like I said, we've got our foothold on Shikoku at Sanuki. So, feeling like that we made some good progress on this particular episode. We did get one of our ports blockaded here, and that was kind of expected because I had to move out of position in order to get all these ships into position. I'm actually going to leave... I'll leave this fleet sitting right here, and I'm going to take my black ship fleet and head back this way because the black ship is even more effective than my typical Nanbans. I am going to come try and relieve this port. I did use the auto-resolve, which is always a bit risky. I think I got another Nanban ship here. I did. This Nanban ship, I need it to head south. So I will do so next turn. I'm gonna have to bring it down here and try and replace this one, which is permanently stuck apparently, but able to still perform its duty, though I would like it to be unstuck. So something I'll have to work on. But yeah, I'd say we're in good shape. Even with all the extra recruiting, with everything going on, we've made good progress. I do want to get a couple of comments from you all, so I'm probably going to end one more turn, and then I'll hit a couple of these comments here. So go through the turn end. It says, Blast from the Past, really the first YouTuber I ever consistently watched. Well, thank you, John, appreciate it, and I'm glad you are enjoying this Blast from the Past. It is literally a blast because we're using so many guns. And the from the past part is pretty obvious, too. Sanks says, it wouldn't be an Heir episode without some CA shenanigans making the salt levels go critical. And you are correct, sir. You are correct. I do get a lot of those. Ah, man, they got that freaking army behind me. That sucks. I should have used my black ship to kill that fleet, because that was obvious what was going to happen. Interestingly, the uncontrollable fleet appeared to still come in as reinforcements. It did, thank goodness, or else it would have been completely useless. It's a good point. No filter. Demon Man Chaos. Wow, that is quite the name. It might be worth sending an army to take Hanma Island. Yes, you are correct. We probably do need to get up there, although I don't have something ready at the moment. Total Madness Man says, was there a Japanese version of Patchy? Yes, there absolutely was a Japanese version of Patchy. He had both the traditional form, which was just Patchy, and then he had a Fall of the Samurai, which was Patchter Cogburn, which was just kind of a funny take on Rooster Cogburn, who was in the True Grit movie and movies, and probably a book, I'm guessing. Demon Ingrid says, hey Heir, since your trade nodes are open enemy attack, you could just put Japanese trade ships there each. If they do attack your fleet, you only lose 10 ships. Yeah, if I just hold one Nanban ship in each one of those, then we won't lose anything. So I think it'll be all right. Trang says, just spam Nanban ships for the win. Not completely untrue. Nanban ships are pretty fantastic. Bogdanov says, first to say first. Well, thank you. Appreciate you coming and watching and leaving a comment. And then Liam said first hi, and hello, Liam. Thank you. Appreciate you all leaving some comments. Got those covered. It was a good episode. In order to start the next episode, we have an enemy army in our midst. So, an unfortunate situation that I should not have allowed, but I did. So, yeah, big surprise, right? Heir done screwed up. So, the only thing this army was technically missing was a Yari Eshigaru. I'm going to go ahead and place it into the army so that we have a full army. And I'm going to start marching back here as quick as I can to try and minimize the damage that that army can do to me. We still have this annoying group of idiots back here who are... Destruction is halted? Oh, a Date Ninja screwed it all up. That Date Ninja... How much did he cost us there? 1,700. That one ninja action cost me 1,700. Of course it did. It's our best. Get rid of this loser. Well, we failed. Of course. Success? No, of course not. So I took my two best agents and we still couldn't address the issue. This army is actually still here. Crap. I'm going to have to deal with it. They may run for Bichu here, which doesn't have near as many reinforcements. They may attempt to get back on their fleet, and honestly, that might be a better solution. But now that they're here, I want to make them dead. I'm going to auto-resolve. No. Alright, well, I'm going to have to reload this turn. Oh my gosh, how stupid is that? Like, they don't kill any other ships, but they kill the Nanban ship. Sure they did, because that's happened how many times so far? Anyway, I gotta reload the autosave for this turn, and that's gonna be it for this episode, so I'll have to redo all that on the next episode. CA, please. There's your salty moment, Sanks, that you were mentioning. So I guess indeed it does have to come in every episode. Anyway, HeirofCarthage signing up for now. I will see you all back on the next episode, where we continue to deal with more auto-resolve shenanigans. Hey, and speaking of, since I had to reload here, I may just come attack their, where's their fleet that picks them up and is able to bring... Okay, it's right here. Yeah, since we have to reload, I should have gone and attacked. I actually can't. So that is actually kind of hard to believe. In fact, it's impossible to believe. These ships have the movement range. So I'm assuming, okay, these guys pack up, they move over here. Okay, it's not impossible. It is possible for them to make that move. I thought that they had to come over here and then back, but no, these units made the move across land and then came over. Okay, yeah, it is possible, albeit extremely unlikely. And I can do something about it, actually. So I'm going to start the next episode with this battle and prevent the invasion. Hey, I wasn't going to reload anything, but since the auto-resolve cheated me, I'm going to cheat them. So, you know, that's how it works, CA. You cheat me, and I'm going to cheat you back. Anyway, HeirofCarthage signing up for now. I will see you all next time.